Hello everyone, so today's video is about our assignment 1, which is in Security in Computing course. So as you guys all know, along with the development of technology, security day by day has become more important. So in today's video, we will talk to you a little bit of the information about security in computing.
Okay, and I'm going to discuss four main questions. What is symmetric and asymmetric encryption and how are they different? What is hashing and how is different from other encryption techniques? What are the applications of encryption in IT? The role of each encryption technique in IT, and what if there is no encryption method or a method is compromised?
To begin with, we will take a look at the first question: what is symmetric encryption and what is asymmetric encryption and how are they different? In symmetric encryption, you use the same key for both the encryption and decryption of your data and message. Taking the example I give to you next to me, sending a secure message to your granny. Both of you need to have the same key in order to encrypt and decrypt the messages that you may exchange with each other. About asymmetric encryption. Asymmetric encryption is quite the opposite of the symmetric encryption, since it uses not only one key but a pair piece, the private one and the public one. You use one to encrypt the data, which is called the public key, and the other to decrypt the encrypted message, which is called the private key. When you encrypt your message using your granny's public key, the same message can only be decrypted using her private key. So, what is private key? Private key is yours, and it must be kept secret and private, as it's the only key that can decrypt any message that was encrypted with your public key. And public key are public, and thus no security is required because of it should publicly available and can pass over the internet. The public key is used to encrypt a message that can only be decrypted using a private counterpart. So to continue with, Gung will discuss with you guys about the two next questions.
To continue the discussion, let's see the third question. What is hashing and how it is different from other encryption technique? And so what is hashing? As I know, hashing is generating a value or values from a string of text using a mathematical function. Hash compiles a stream of data into a small digits and is strictly a one-way operation. Although hashing makes the values thus can be decrypted by the hash table, if you try to reverse the process, it produces an exponential increased result. It means you have to spend a hunk amount of time to decrypt it, and is synonymous with impossible to hacking. We discussed about encryptions and hashes, so what are the applications of them in it? First of all, I want to show you about security messaging. Security messaging applications use end-to-end encryption protocols to prevent third parties as well as the messaging service provider from having access to the plain text of messages. The Signal protocol, designed by Open Whisper Systems, is used in several widely used messaging applications including Signal, WhatsApp, secret conversation in Facebook Messenger, the incognito mode of Google Alert, and Skype. Secondly, about protecting confidentiality in cloud or third-party computing. Cloud computing and store are changing how organizations use and manage their data, and a particular relevance here: the data of their customers. Familiar examples of customer service that store data in the cloud include email service such as Google Gmail and file store and sharing service such as Dropbox. Cloud services are also used to back up and restore data on smartphones or laptops. Encryption is generally used to protect the confidentiality of that data, depending on how the service is architected and the business model of the service provider. The provider may or may not have access to the keys needed to decrypt the data. Move on to the fourth question. We will discuss with you about it.
So the last question is the role of each encryption techniques in IT, and what if there is no encryption or a method is being compromised. There are a lot of techniques of encryption and decryption in IT, but according to our speech above, we will focus on explaining about the symmetric and asymmetric encryption and hashing. About the symmetric and asymmetric encryption, it is a method that enables you to hide your message that or data in a way that only authorized people can access to it. For instance, you want to send a message to your granny saying you love her, but you don't want anyone else to read the message. And hashing is simply the practice of using an algorithm to map the data of any length to a fixed length output. It's useful in a number of ways and plays an important role in several different types of encryption, such as building data structure to optimize the search, save and check the password, integrity check of data, and generate OTP code. So, what if there is no encryption method or a method being compromised? There are many threats that can result in the key being compromised. Typically, you won't even know the key has been compromised until it has been exploited by the attacker, which makes the threats more dangerous. Here are some of the major threats that should be considered. Incorrect use of keys. Each key should be generated for a single, specific purpose. If it is used for something else, it may not provide the expected or required level of protection. The second one is inappropriate storage of keys. Keys should never be stored alongside the data that they protect, as any exfiltration of the protected data is likely to compromise the key also. And the third one is inadequate protection of keys. Even keys stored only in server memory could be vulnerable to compromise, where the value of the data demands it. Keys should be encrypted whenever stored and only be made available in unencrypted form within a secure, tamper-protected environment, and even kept offline. So, what can be done to counter these threats and keep your keys safe? The only effective way to mitigate these threats is to use a dedicated electronic key management system, ideally a mature management system, proven solution from a reputable provider with good customer references. Any such key management system should utilize a hardware security model to generate and protect keys and to underpin the security of the whole system. So this is the end of our video, and with the 4 questions above and the information that we have given to you guys, we hope that you will see it as a helpful information that can help you with your daily life and work.
If you have any questions, just Google and comment it with us. And don't forget to like and share the video. Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.